slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this.
Hey y'all, Gingerbeard Biker here. Thank you for watching another one of my videos I have. In this one, we are going to be changing out the stator in Talent Ride's 2011 Street Glide. Now, if you notice, I'm doing a little voiceover right now. When filming, I had a problem with the microphone that I was using. So there's going to be no audio with the video, so I'm going to do my best to do this voiceover, and hopefully the video is still entertaining for you. So right here I'm showing how I have the bike jacked up on my scissor jack. If you don't have a lift to do a maintenance like this on it where you're going into the primary, I highly recommend getting yourself a scissor jack. It'll help out a lot because once you take the derby cover off, if you don't have it on that jack, it's going to start dumping oil out of the derby cover. So now we move to the front of the engine. Where I have my finger pointed right now is the crank position sensor. Don't get that confused with the cable running out of the primary for the stator. This other cord that has the gray connector on it that you see when you're looking at it has 3 holes in it where you would connect it into the regulator rectifier. That is the cable running to the stator. What you see me pointing at now is the bolt to take the front floorboard off. Now we're going to have to remove the front and the rear floorboards in order to be able to gain access to all the screws to take off the outer primary. So before we start all that, we're going to go ahead and drain the primary fluid from the primary. That way we don't take it all apart and it dumps out everywhere. It's already going to make a mess just because of where I have the scissor jack located, but at least draining it out first will help prevent all of it from spilling on the floor. And then we're sitting here, we're taking off the floorboards, and that's it. Okay, so right here I have the derby cover off. You can see the clutch adjustment nut and screw in there. What we're getting ready to do is actually take all the screws off the outer primary cover and expose the primary. So now we have the primary cover off. That's the compensator, and that's the clutch. I'm noting the spring right there for the clutch, and I'm just taking it. Not sure, I don't remember exactly what I was talking about at this point. I'm just probably talking about the different pieces. This is the plate and the adjustment for the clutch. We're going to end up taking that out so we can gain access to the bolt, or nut I should say, for the clutch. One thing I would like to note for anyone that forgets, the compensator is the one with the normal thread and the clutch is the one with the reverse thread. So righty tighty lefty loosey for the compensator, lefty tighty righty loosey for the clutch. And I'm also right there taking a note of the starter. You have to remove the starter from the inner primary in order to take it all off. It's just 2 bolts. And here I'm talking about the automatic chain tensioner. This model and a lot of other models have the automatic chain tensioner. There's 2 bolts to take it out. And there's actually a whole part where I show you how to put it back in, and I'll explain a trick for putting it back in when we get it all back in. But essentially I'm saying we're going to take that out, we're going to take the compensator off, we're going to take the clutch off, take that out, and then we're going to take off all the bolts on the inner primary, and we'll remove the inner primary and get to the stator. So what I have here is I'm showing you how I've taken the nylon pad from a chain adjuster from another bike that was replaced, and I use that now as a wedge to push in between the chain and the sprocket so that the whole engine doesn't rotate while I'm trying to loosen up the bolt. I'm going back now, put it back on because I forgot that I need to also have it all put together so I can loosen up the clutch bolt. Here I'm taking off the inner primary, and if you notice I did forget to unbolt the starter. Now we have the inner primary off. The starter right here is sitting there free, it's unbolted. Right here I'm taking the rotor off of the crankshaft. Here's me showing you that the rotor magnets and everything are in good condition and nothing wrong. But if you look at that stator, you can see that the top coils are black because they are burnt, and the other coils are all shiny and look like they're almost brand new. At this point, I'm got the new stator in there, and now I'm just putting everything back together. So right here I'm showing you how to collapse down the primary chain adjuster. It's an automatic adjuster. I think I mentioned that earlier. That spring will push the block up into the spring, and it creates the proper tension. And all I'm doing is securing it with a zip tie so it's fully collapsed down. Makes it a whole lot easier to get it reinstalled into the primary. And then all you do once it's reinstalled is you cut the zip tie, the adjuster adjusts itself where it's supposed to go, and you got it installed. Now all I'm doing right here is getting ready to put primary fluid in the primary and then screw on the derby cover. So right here, this is the cable from the stator that you plug into the regulator rectifier. The last tip that I'm really going to give you about this is trying to plug that in while the regulator rectifier is still bolted to the frame is almost impossible, especially if you have as large a hands as I do. So I highly recommend just unbolting it, removing it, plugging the stator into it, make sure that the line from the regulator rectifier to the battery is snug and buckled in, and then you're pretty much good to go. Well, there you have it. We finished the stator replacement for Talent's Ride's 2011 Street Glide. I hope all the tips that I gave were helpful, and I hope you enjoyed. I apologize for not having the audio with it. I believe that it would have been a much better video if it had audio, but unfortunately, you know, just with life, there are technical difficulties that can arise. But I have it all figured out now for use of my microphones, because they're really nice microphones. But yeah, so that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, and I'll see y'all next time.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough